So then, unfortunately, this was not retained in Singapore, and then it was now collected by the Hong Kong Films Archives. So if you visit Hong Kong Film Archives, you see all of them. Yeah. So this is the film's script. Another collections was the collections by local collectors who used to work at the Clarke Quay and Boat Quay. That was a time when Singapore River was still very active, and he used to work there. So he's very familiar with the lives there of the Singapore rivers. It's collected a lot of artifacts of those days, especially the early migrants' evidence, like their papers, the documentations, the kind of things they use in the old days. Yeah. So these whole lots of thousands of them were then exported to Xiamen overseas museum now. Yeah. So if you visit there, you will see all these. I have shown some of the images here, which we can see. If you'd like to come over here. So you see some of these papers. The early migrants from China, when they come over here, they have to make all this paper, prepared all this paper. These were actually, currency of those days. And they were in fact porcelains, made of porcelains, yeah. These were created by, what do we call that? It is actually a leader of a piece of land, the landowner. Then landowner would have all these coolies that comes from, say, China or India or anywhere, and they actually set up their own company and their own currencies, so that the currencies is not usable outside of their land. So this is in a way discouraged the coolie to run away. Yeah, but they are really very little paid. Yeah. So these were part of the collections, and one important collection was this tiles, the roof tiles of Nanyang universities. And we know Nanyang universities was a very important part of our history in terms of language policies, yeah, and education. And here some images of World War II. Other interesting things were the Samsui women, who were important part of labors in Singapore, and they are now mostly elderly in their very old age now. Yeah. What was interesting for this person, they collected all these artifacts actually made by the Samsui women. For example, like these sleepers that Samsui women used to use. These were actually made by their own hand, made out of rubber tire. So who would imagine that people use rubber tire to make shoes or slippers? In fact, these actually protect their feet in the construction site, and at the same time they are airy. They're not like shoes like these can be quite hot. Yeah. So and also the Hong Tou Jing, this red cloth or headdress that they created for themselves. In some way it protect them because of the color they use, because this is very loud colors in a construction site. So it becomes a kind of helmet for them. Yeah. So these to me represent some kind of wisdom from these people, and it's all out from their own needs. Yeah. So they're very valuable kind of artifacts, and unfortunately we didn't keep them here. So next one is the Mr. Bo Hichi, who was the artist himself, and who created this bonsai out of tropical plant, which is remade. So in bonsai, of course we've seen a lot of bonsai in China, but they're mainly plants that you can survive in their weather conditions. As for these artists who were actually self-taught artists, so he experimented with this tropical plant, and really created a lot of interesting work and exhibited very internationally too. So when the garden grew bigger and bigger, and he was already old, he approached the botanic gardens to have the collections, to continue with the collections. Unfortunately, the botanic garden in Singapore was not interested to collect them. So he has to approach Shanghai Botanical Garden. So if you now visit Shanghai Botanical Garden, you will see a segment, and they have museums for bonsai to trace the history of bonsai. And this artist was placed in there, was mentioned there, and his contributions was he discovered tropical bonsai. So he's actually, discovered that. So these were very well kind of collected in Shanghai Botanical Garden now. So I hope that you do have a chance to visit them next time when you're in Shanghai. Okay. So these are the 4 different collectors, and trying to introduce some very important artifacts that we have, but unfortunately now being exported outside. Okay, so this is the Wordy tour, and let's go on to the next work. When I presented it, I had also 2 standee, which is one was the myself as a Singapore girl in this uniforms, as part of the kind of the tours promotion for the tour, yeah, and the reason for that was the Singapore girl as a persona has been kind of a strategy that I used to engage with the issues of course, the gender politics. How this image was created by a foreign image maker. In a way, for me, it reinforces this very exhaustive ideas of women coming from the East and a tropical island. So I took the opportunity to take on that issues and to make a critique on the issues of representations of women. So it's an ongoing project. I think my first work started probably in early 2000s. So it become performance, object like this, or photography, that you will see later. It also come in print. So it depends on which issues that I'm dealing with, that I decide what kind of media I would use. But it begins with these objects. So I used these were the objects that, of course, kind of, has been, you can get them quite easily in any kiosk, tourist kiosk, because it's part of their tourist objects for promotion. And